cheater! Welcome back to the Gamer Girl Bathwater Chronicles.
Hell yeah.
My
Today,
favorite character is
That's what I came here for.
I didn't have it fun.
Wow, Gabe, you were right, Zigzagoon.
Yep.
Alright, throw the Master Ball.
Alright,
Do it
no, but
past
actually,
Evan. Oh.
the game mentions something about a Pokemon, and it is this game's one, not three like in Gen 2, but one Rowing Legendary. And what that means is, that it is a legendary Pokemon that is found in... that could just be found anywhere in the tall grass. Like, you don't know if you're gonna find it or not. You could just get a Wingull instead.
Hell yeah.
Pokemon moment.
I wish you brought Sweet Scent.
I wish that you're sent...
What?
Because you can just, like, start an encounter. You don't have to run around.
I'll start
Real.
you.
Ooh,
It's just
he's a
the-
car.
Oh, hey, there it
Oh, there
is.
she is.
Oh, there it is. Oh, hey, look, a
Latias.
plane.
There she is, the plane.
So anyway, since this is a roaming legendary, I'm just gonna do the easy thing. Because it can flee whenever it wants.
IZ. Not if you kill it first with self-destruct. Sorry, exploded.
Alright. So,
You
In look.
can't run
as
away
this
if I
is still the
fucking
beginning
kill
of the
you.
part, I think it's time... they make a small herd of only several members. They rarely make contact with people or other Pokemon. They disappear if they sense enemies.
Bro, no
Alright.
it didn't.
So this part just started.
fighting.
So what does this mean? Well, it's pretty obvious by now I played this on an emulator, so I am taking full advantage of the fact that this is an emulator.
Hell yeah.
I think you can figure out what I mean by when it says one trip to E3 2003 later.
Yeah, Latios.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, Latios.
Pokemon.
So, you can choose between Latios or Latias, like when it asks on the TV if it was red or blue. But that means that the other one can only be caught via an event.
Yeah.
So Evan obviously time traveled.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so, basically, the event Pokemon are Pokemon that can only, like, are basically, you're given the opportunity to catch, or just straight up given, via, like, certain events, in this case, E3 2003, and, like, these Pokemon can only be caught through these events, which means, nowadays, it is impossible to catch them through legitimate means at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I will be catching...
Latios.
So yeah, I'll be catching the event Pokemon through means of internet fuckery. Because you really can just inject these things into a ROM.
The good old Game Shark approach.
You can probably guess, though, there is one event Pokemon that I could not add to this, and I think you already know which one it is.
Shame.
We're gonna catch Jirachi.
Jirachi.
We are not catching Jirachi.
Dang.
Hell.
You weren't about to drop $200 plus on a
The
Jirachi.
Pokemon Coliseum bonus disc.
Literally, doesn't it cost more than Pokemon Coliseum?
Yeah, I think
Look,
so.
that Jirachi movie was fucking gas, though.
Yeah.
Hey,
Is
yeah,
gas a
yeah.
compliment or a
Yeah, it is.
insult?
Yeah, gas is like fire.
Okay. Sometimes I don't know.
Or like
No,
a
don't worry.
slap.
Yes, that's
Hey.
modern internet lingo for you. They're just
A learning
modern lingo.
moment.
Someone's gas is good.
There was a I was watching this interview or like reading this interview. I was consuming media in some form. With this Japanese bassist, and he was like, "Yeah, I went to." He's like a jazz bassist, and he's like, "Yeah, I went to America to like play jazz with some American musicians," and they kept. I thought that they were insulting me because they were like, "That solo was sick. That was disgusting." It's like, what is I doing wrong?
That actually is
God.
very similar to there's this kind of like hip hop jazz fusion producer. His name is Good Not Bad, and he's done a bunch of like,
Good, not bad.
yeah, and he's done a bunch of like collabs with guys like Ghostface Killah, you know, Anderson .Paak, a bunch of like, you know, R&B musicians, and he makes like
Is
really
that
cool
name
tracks. And and he talks about how he had he did like a jazz fusion a jazz hip hop fusion album with like a Japanese like pianist, and And in the jazz world, you call someone, like you call him a cat. That's just a way of like saying like, a dude or like a guy.
Yeah,
it's like
it's just
the
a
cat's
proper-
over there
Yeah.
playing, right? And he mentions in one of the interviews how when he was, because the pianist spoke like a little bit of English, and
Sorry, lore, real
and-
quick.
and
We got the Eon ticket, and it has taken us to this southern island.
right on. And he was like talking to
Those whose
Another
memories
group that he
fade
performed
seek to
with.
carve them in their hearts.
Wow.
and so the Japanese pianist was like super confused, and Good Not Bad was like, why, what's up? And basically the Japanese pianist was like, why are you calling people cats?
Reasonable.
Super fair.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, here's the other one, Latios.
Here's
Here's the other plane.
Imagine getting the event and then beating it, and
And then it fucking faints.
Oh no!
That would be
Does it-
so bad.
Doesn't it stay on your cartridge like forever? Like if you start a new game on that cartridge, like
I don't know.
Well, okay.
Maybe.
So actually, I think that might be the case because, like, the thing is, the event is actually an event item that lets you access an area in the game.
yeah.
Yeah, but like if you go back to the Reggie caves, they won't be there if you faint them.
Okay, but I think they were talking more like taking advantage of your save game.
Oh, like
Love
if you
taking
beat
advantage
it,
of people.
if it faints, just fucking switch a game over.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
because,
you
like,
could just
I don't
obviously
think
reload it.
Yeah, I
like
think
there has to be some kid out there who like
There's always
was
a kid.
like, well,
Fuck that kid.
In fact, let me
That
look
kid
this
has
up. Actually, let me
fucking
look this up.
deserves.
If anyone's ever like killed an event Pokemon, they like were. Oops, killed my shaman. Sucks.
whoops.
Whoops, all beans.
Pretty.
I was about to say when you're British,
First
that means I'm toasted
okay,
and
first
divided
result.
bread.
What happens
It's
if you
supposed
faint an
to be
event
gold.
Pokemon?
I restarted
Yeah.
the game just to make sure.
So what happens?
Soft reset. You only have one chance at it. If you have to go back a save, is what the only reply on this says.
Wow, that's brutal.
What
Yeah.
year was that answered so we can ballpark what game they were possibly talking?
2018.
Oh, okay, so Sun and Moon.
Yeah, that would be Sun and Moon.
I think you can still do the Magirna event.
Can you?
You just have to scan a QR code,
Oh,
and like that doesn't end.
nope.
Alright. I got a thing.
Do you?
I do, actually.
Name it.
This is my favorite thing. I have a lot of
Okay.
favorite things. What country does France have its longest border with?
France.
Is it Spain?
Is it your final answer?
Is it?
Does anybody else have a guess?
I gotta think about that.
I want to give everybody the chance.
The Mengwa line. No.
What?
It's a World War
Probably
I joke.
something more unexpected than my
Belgium.
guess. But I think I'll stick with it.
Yeah, so the France-Spain border is like 3 kilometers longer than the France-Belgium border.
Yeah.
But the country that France shares the longest border with is Brazil.
Brazil.
Oh
my god!
French Guiana is an actual part of France. Like it's
Oh,
not
come
like
on.
a territory. No, it's not a territory. They vote in French elections. It
Oh
is
my
part of the
gosh.
EU. It is a full ass part of France.
What the fuck?
Like full. It's like Hawaii. Like it's not weird that Hawaii is part of the U.S. Right? Same thing. French Guiana is just France. It is
Oh,
France.
okay. Yeah, you know what?
It's weird 'cause
That
it's
makes
on a
sense.
continent.
Yeah.
More like Alaska.
Yeah, it's like Alaska.
Okay, yeah, because like,
Even a whole
okay,
nother
yeah,
continent.
Hawaii is like, Hawaii's kind of,
Yeah,
It's the-
but they're all on our continent, though. The ones that
So all of
I guess
France's
belong to
European
America
borders
in a sense.
are really
Oh
similar
yeah,
to
oh yeah.
Luxembourg.
This second one, yeah.
2004. Which one are we going for?
Well,
Oh,
here's the thing.
Deoxys.
Yeah,
Oh.
and yeah, here's the thing. You could only get this one at Pokemon Center, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon
Which is
Center,
crazy
New
because
York.
Deoxys would go on to be like one of the most, I mean, arguably popular legendaries.
Pokemon Center
Also,
New
it's
York
really good.
doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
What is it now?
It's Nintendo New York.
Oh.
There is no Pokemon Center in the United States anymore.
Fellas, all right. For us who played Pokemon, what is your favorite form of Deoxys? And I don't
like
mean
the
just by
speed one, I
typing, by
think.
looks.
No, I think I like the speed one. I have to look it up really fast.
Yeah, I need to
Okay.
look up the Deoxys forms myself.
I remember
Either
thinking.
speed or attack.
I remember the defense one thinking it was fucking dumb.
Yeah, nobody likes the
I thought it
defense
was
one
funny.
just because, to be fair, he's very round.
Is big
I mean,
boy.
I like the defense one because he's kind of goofy looking.
Yeah, for me it's like
Normal is pretty based, but
I think for me it's 50-50 between attack and speed.
Yeah.
I think I like attack better actually.
My personal favorite is just the standard form.
Yeah.
That's fair, super fair. The Deoxys movie was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was
where he's
my
fighting
favorite.
Rayquaza and shit. Oh my
Oh,
god.
yeah.
And then
Yeah,
there's
I
that
feel
like-
kid who
I don't know.
looks,
I was
that
just
kid
the
who
right
looks,
age.
There was also that kid who looks kind of like Bakura.
Yeah, and you had fucking
Also-
what's- you had the plus
It's-
1/9
Also-
Pokemon
Yeah,
too.
it's- Pokemon
Deoxys'
and
battle
Yu-Gi-Oh!
theme in this
City.
game is probably one of the best in the game.
Oh yeah, that's like the worst part about. it
This
being
is limited to an
event-locked.
event, and this song fucking slaps.
I
Oh,
know. Crazy is only level 32, while the others
Yeah.
are like 40 and above. Why the fuck they rock you with fucking level 30 Deoxys when you got Latios out here level 50, bro?
Yeah, oh yeah, Latios and Latios with their just regular battle theme, and completely ignoring the fact that the Beast Trio in Gen 3, Gen 2, who were also roaming legendaries, actually did have a unique battle theme.
No. Yo,
Say, like,
Deoxys
You were
with
surprised
Swift?
by how much.
It
damage
knows
that
Swift,
did,
yeah.
Like,
It
That's
crit,
just
and that was
like
still
crazy.
nothing.
That's a crazy moveset for fucking Swift on Deoxys.
Yep.
well, he came from space. It shoots out stars.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, alright, I'll allow it.
Alright, fair.
Like that's got to be the thought process, right?
Yeah. What
guess.
decides what decides what form you get?
You can change them.
You can change them. How do you do that?
I thought you could change it, yeah.
I can't remember because I never got the event, but like, there's
Yeah,
someone you
fucking
talk
better.
to.
Well, yeah,
or
you had to
something.
be in New York with a Game Boy Advance in 2004.
I don't know. How do you switch them?
Yeah, who knows when 2004 is gonna happen again?
Yeah.
I can't
Whenever
plan
God
around
decides
that.
to reset the server,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Right.
Its form depends on what game it is in and cannot be
Oh.
changed without trading.
Oh,
Whoa.
interesting.
So, its normal form in it's normal form when you're trying to catch it anyway, but like after you catch it, it is normal form in Ruby, Sapphire, Colosseum, and XD. Its attack form in Fire Red, defense form in Leaf Green, and speed form in Emerald.
Huh. Interesting.
Wacky.
So yeah, that is
Wow.
the gist of that.
So if you wanted to change up your Deoxys strategy, you literally had to buy another game.
Yeah, basically.
But I mean, honestly, if you were playing competitive Pokemon in 2004, you had all of them.
Yeah. It's so weird to think of like things that were meta, like, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like, I think about like Yu-Gi-Oh meta and like Pokemon meta, and like even to an extent,
Yu-Gi-Oh was still
competitive-
kind of comprehensible back then.
Yeah, and even then, like competitive jokes aside, competitive Beyblade was pretty crazy too.
Oh, fucking tops.
Yeah, and but like, they didn't have fucking Smogon back then.
Oh
They
yeah, no,
probably
like
had fucking
When
I think
was
it's so
Smogon
interesting
founded?
to see like old RuneScape strategies.
yeah.
The game is functionally the same today for all intents and purposes, but like
Mhm.
the strategy today is so much more refined than it was back then. Like we just know so much more about the game because it's been around so long.
Hang on,
Yeah.
I need to look this up actually.
Because now it's less about like priority and speed kills. and
Actually,
more, like,
Gabe.
setting up.
Actually,
Oh, yeah.
Gabe, Smogon was
Hmm.
opened December 18th, 2004.
Wow. Okay, that was the
Probably his
time.
forum site. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wayback Machine search Smogon.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the movesets that were used back then are still somewhat meta relevant today.
Not to mention also just
I mean,
the
just
fact
push
that like
Earthquake, the oldest
the-
strategy in the book.
the metagame probably came with different strats even for like probably used different strats for various generations back then than they do now as people discovered new things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like who was using Stealth Rocks right when Gen 4 came out? Like
Exactly.
it's just
I
a
mean,
weird
people were
status
setting
move.
spikes, toxic spikes, but then people were like, wait a second. I can add a third layer to
Okay, yeah, actually spikes were around already, so
Yeah.
they were just like, okay, cool. We found a use for rock types.
I'm just trying to not kill it.
I love this music.
Yeah, me too.
That's good.
Like it, like I said this already, but it drives me insane that like this is probably my favorite battle theme in the game, and it's just for this event. You get this once in your life.
Hard lock. You ain't hearing this song ever again. Better pull out your MP3 player and
Let's-
record this.
Unless you're a cheater.
Can MP3 players record things?
Wait,
music-
yeah, hang on a
you have-
second,
you
game.
Music is only for cheaters.
You had those MP3 players with mics attached, so you
Okay.
can like record
yeah.
Okay, but we're talking about a fucking Game Boy Advance speaker.
Yeah, it doesn't
Once it
matter.
had to sound good, you still have it.
Wait, so is this the original music?
Yes.
Yes.
Because this sounds amazing.
Yes.
Like the quality.
Well,
For what?
okay, so
It is.
Pokemon is definitely one of the better sounding Game Boy Advance games.
Well, it's all over the place, really. Like,
Maybe
none
it's
of the
a song
songs are
by song
annoying,
basis.
but like some definitely stand out above others.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when I think of the Game Boy Advance chip, I think of like poorly coordinated beeps and boops.
I think of trumpets.
You should listen to
Well, that's
the
because you think of
Taro,
Gen 3
Ham Ham,
before anything
Henry.
else.
But yeah, it's the one I've played the most of.
But
Anyway,
I just
sorry,
didn't
what'd you say,
realize
Gabe?
that.
Oh,
Go ahead.
you should listen to the Godzilla Domination soundtrack. This is a Godzilla fighting game made by Way Forward. Amazing soundtrack.
And what
As a
were
matter
you
of fact,
saying,
they actually
Carrie?
used one of the songs in that game for their demo of Shantae.
And what were you saying, Carrie?
I'm just amazed that. I mean, I'm hearing it in my headphones right now, and the quality sounds great, but I can't imagine it would sound this good if I were just listening to it from Game Boy Advance speakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Shoot, I gotta go check on something.
speakers probably were, distinctly worse than your headphones, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did this game come out?
Emerald, well, okay, so Ruby and Sapphire was 2002.
1964.
Probably right at the end of Game Boy Advance.
At the end of LBJ.
No.
That's
2002?
not right.
No clue what you're talking about. Every
2002 was very
non-soldier
early
character-
Game Boy Advance, actually.
Was it? Because I thought that the DS came out not too long thereafter.
So, the Game Boy Advance was released in 2001, the Nintendo DS was released in 2004, but there was
Okay.
some overlap for about 2 years.
Yeah, I remember the overlap. I guess I just didn't remember the exact time range. And I do remember the Game Boy Advance being having a relatively small time frame that it was
It feels
active.
longer than it actually was.
Probably for me, at least, because that was my main gaming platform that I played. All 3 games that I played as a kid.
Yeah.
I played more than that.
You see, the
Game Boy Advance.
overlap
It
is
wasn't-
honestly
certainly wasn't
like
prolific.
I find it really funny because like you're looking at the advertisements for the Final Fantasy Game Boy Advance ports, specifically 4, 5, and 6. And like looking at the advertisements, the ad for Final Fantasy 4 shows someone playing it on a Game Boy Micro, and the ads for 5 and 6 show someone playing it on a Nintendo DS.
Yeah, that overlap was interesting.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that they would decide to come out with so many within such a short period of time, but I guess it worked for them, so.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what was. I don't know why they went to the DS so quickly. I feel like I feel like there's probably something on that, but I don't actually know what it is.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe there was
wasn't
a
it, like,
major technology jump or something?
One of the
or...
best-selling handhelds.
The Nintendo DS is the best-selling handheld of all time.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
think it
thought.
was
So they
very
they knew
good.
they had something really good.
Yeah, they didn't want to
They
hold
fucking
out.
knew they was cooking with that one.
Yeah.
I know the Game Boy Advance didn't sell great compared to either its predecessor or its successor.
That's probably why.
Well, okay, like, to be completely honest, I don't really know about its immediate predecessor, because for some reason, when looking at sales, Nintendo groups the Game Boy and Game Boy Color together.
Yeah, well, I mean, they do have the, like, exact same game.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they have very similar hardware. The thing is, the Game Boy Color, every Game Boy Color game, the box says Game Boy Color on it, and there are tons of Game Boy Color exclusive games.
That's true,
It's like
yeah.
the DSi.
It's not like the DSi. The DSi has, like, maybe 11 of them.
I mean, everyone forgets about the DSi because obvious reasons, but like, and then the 3DS came along and was just better.
Bro,
But
I remember, like, fucking selling all of my Legos so that I could buy a DSi on release.
DSi, like, like, retroactively is the most pointless, version of the system.
yeah,
Bro, but it had the fucking camera.
So like, the thing is, everything that the DSi had that makes it unique is on the 3DS, and the DSi also lacks a Game Boy Advance port, which just makes it this weird middle child that no one wants anymore.
yeah. Like, why would you want to exclusively a DS when you could have a DS and a GBA or a DS and a 3DS?
Yeah. This is, yeah. You know, okay, so the potentially hot take, I don't know, design-wise, like, obviously, technically wise, absolutely not, but, like, in terms of appearance, my favorite Nintendo DS is actually the original.
One without the
Interesting.
backlit screen?
The one without the backlit screen, yeah. I just like the way it looks.
Oh, that's fair.
Like,
guess
obviously, the
it's
DS
a little
Lite is
more
just
retro.
the superior option in every conceivable way.
Yeah, that was the one I think I had. That was my last gaming console. I guess
So-
I, to be fair, only had two.
All right. So, I think I know what it is, okay? The original Nintendo DS, at least in my opinion, has a look about it that, like, still kind of has that, like, GameCube, Game Boy Advance aesthetic, where the DS Lite matches up with the Wii quite a bit more. It's like, it's around the point where, like, Nintendo started leaning hard into that, I'm gonna call it the Apple aesthetic.
That's
Well,
fair.
yeah, they just go with the times. I mean, the
Yeah.
whole thing was. I mean, it had a touch screen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay. Anyway, next time on Smash Team Games, we rebranded the Apple aesthetic.
No.
wonder what
No,
it'll
we're
look
not
like.
doing that.
I'm really curious.